Right, let's kickstart the ACS. And our first speaker used to educate, train, and I suppose motivate the horizons of students at Bajaya University College. He is the marketing and brand executive of Monin Asia. Please give a big round of applause for Shaun Liew.
Is the mic on? Awesome. Before I actually begin, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Shaun, and I'm the marketing executive for Monin Asia. But before I move on to my presentation, I'd like you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. All right. So today, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And now we're going to actually move on to my presentation. And today, what I'm going to be presenting is all about creative coffee beverages. Okay. So we wait on for the team to actually put on the slides, and then we shall begin. All right, so I'm actually Shaun from Monin, and today we're going to be presenting something that's interesting, something that's a bit creative, and what's currently made in the industry today. Now, today we're going to look into creative coffee beverages. What is it all about? You know, when did it first started, and what are the usual common flavors that are incorporated into flavored coffee? Okay, we look into Asia-Pacific coffee trends, as well as the key flavors that are currently trending in the particular country. And what are the new flavors or concepts, you know, that are made available in future or currently trending, hopefully in the future. Now, so what do we mean by creative coffee beverages? We're talking about innovation. We're talking about how people in the industry today, we try to innovate concepts, drinks, flavors, and of course to intrigue customers, especially the younger customers these days. They are always craving for something that's new, you know, something fresh. And of course, it will always remain something that's interesting for them to actually try out and test out because of the curiosity. Okay, trends, we're talking about evaluating what is the current trending flavors or current trends. Even like, for example, like latest desserts in the market. We're talking about favorite cakes, you know, favorite, like, for example, favorite flavors like salted caramel. That's a current favorite flavor at the moment, okay? I see some booths around Caffa, because I've been here yesterday, and you can see certain booths that are selling like salted caramel tarts and so forth. So those are key flavors that are quite trending at the moment. Okay, and when we create coffee beverages as well, something that's creative, we always look into the synergy of how the coffee, you know, and the flavors combine together. So for example, you will work with Ethiopian Jägerchefs, you know, kind of extractions to go very well with blueberry-like flavors or strawberry-like flavors, you know, so that we want it to have that great synergy with coffee. Now, creative coffee beverages started off many, many centuries ago, where during the time of the Turks, the time where they actually put in like sugar to the coffee, because as you know that Turkish coffee is always very bitter, you know, because of the coffee grounds and so forth, and it's dark roasted and all together. And because they find it too bitter, so therefore they started adding like sugar and then accompanied with baklava on the side. So baklava is this Turkish dessert that's really, really sweet. Okay, but over the years, you know, as time passes by, so as you can see through the video, okay, Starbucks actually launched in the 1990s, and you can see that they actually brought in more or introduced flavored coffee, okay, and it became more mainstream in the 1990s. So we have introductions of frappuccinos, you know, like hazelnut flavors. We're talking about chocolate flavors. We're talking about vanilla flavors. So those are the key flavors at that time. As of course, over the years pass by, you have different types of flavors that actually emerge into the market today. Now, the different types of flavors, for example, like they come from spices, coffee flavors. We're talking about chocolates, nuts, and even creme coffees as well. So spices, we're talking about cinnamon. Okay, we're talking about coffee flavors like amaretto. We talk about chocolates, like chocolate cookie, for example, you know, nuts, typical, common, hazelnut, macadamia, so forth. And of course, cream coffees like our Irish Baileys, okay, or Irish. Now, so this is what's in the market today. Okay, so we can see that you can look into some of our key accounts. Basically, we have Pizza Hut in China, which actually introduced something quite interesting into their market, which is tiramisu iced latte. Okay, we have even in Hong Kong as well, we have Cafe Habitu introduced the iced almond cream cappuccino. Something that's actually interesting and will actually intrigue the customers. Okay, like lavender honey latte, amaretto latte in Australia, for example. Iced hazelnut latte and iced vanilla remains the key flavors in the market today, wherever, regardless in Asia Pacific. And And of course, we have dolce lattes in Starbucks, for example, in Japan. Dolce lattes are very, very popular in Japan, which is actually flavored cream, okay? And then that's on top of a latte that's cold. And of course, you have some flavored syrups as well. So that is currently trending in Japan. So what are the Asia Pacific coffee trends at the moment? So basically, there is an increase of coffee houses in Asia. Okay, Malaysia is up and coming. Okay, and we are on the rise at the moment for coffee houses. Okay, and you can see that it's because of the higher demand of the customers wanting to actually chill out, relax, and enjoy a cup of coffee at coffee houses. And of course, nevertheless, some of them even use Wi-Fi, dying for Wi-Fi to do their work at the coffee house. So as they spend more time, sometimes you will have customers who are ordering more, but sometimes they will remain less. So it depends how is it like, in the certain cafes. And there are also new consumers that are actually experimenting with coffees, okay, with diverse menus, ranging from ice blended coffees. They are talking about hot, cold coffees, and of course creative coffees as well. Like for example, like tiramisu latte, for example, and you come up with that's with a bit of cocoa powder and just a nice mint garnish on top. So something that's innovative. Okay. The global preference at the moment is still medium body coffees, slightly sweet, not overly sweet. Okay, and milk-based coffees. That is still the global preference. Of course, at the moment, you can see that the market is going towards filter coffee, trying to appreciate more about filter coffee as well. Now, dessert coffees are also on their way. So you can see that if you go to certain places, there are a lot of places they may be serving now dessert-based coffees. Okay, we're talking about black forest ice blended coffees. We're talking about peanut butter latte, Nutella, cafe mocha, for example. So these are something that's a bit more interesting that's been introduced into the market today. Okay. Now, younger people these days are looking to have new experience. Okay, because they grow up with different styles, the different people that they are influencing them. To actually try out, test out, go and see this place, try out the coffee, try out their awesome coffee, their creativity and so forth. Okay, and consumer tastes are also evolving. They are starting to appreciate more, especially in the Malaysian market. Before this, coffee is just coffee for them. But it's how our industry itself is able to educate our consumers, to understand more about coffee. Okay, and of course, they want something a bit more special. So some of the consumers, they like something that's more creative and more innovative as well. So that's still there. Okay, like for example, like kind of adding a sour note into a pickled tang. So they want something that's interesting and fancy. Okay, customers are also widely using social media. So basically, as you know, a lot of cafe owners, you benefit this a lot, especially from social media. Yeah, people actually writing a lot about the cafes, the current specialty drinks that they're serving in the cafes, which also helps the business as well. Okay, so it can be via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. That's the current popular social media network because of the photos and of course the comments about the product as well. And of course, it's good for the cafe because if you're putting forth or featuring a new drink or a new flavored coffee, it's something that's interesting for the public to share and also it benefits the business as well at the long term. Okay, so we look into Vietnam and Cambodia, Laos. So we look into their trend. What's trending there? Okay, so coffee trolleys and bicycles are coming back into fashion. So you still see people who are actually selling coffees, okay, on trolleys like that. And then we also have drip coffees that are still very, very popular. If you guys have tried drip coffees, it's still flavored. For example, using condensed milk because it's still a bit bitter. And of course, customers are also still looking for flavored coffee that are interesting. So that's why, for example, like Highlands Coffee, they actually introduced like coffee jelly lattes, and they still have green tea coffee lattes as well. Okay, even in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, and Philippines, okay, milk-based coffee is still very popular. Okay, be it lattes, cappuccinos, and so forth. Okay, there's also an increase in demand for filter coffees. Okay, espresso ice cubes is also still trending currently, and the flower pot concept basically is ice blended coffees together with cookie crumbles on top, and then served in a flower pot. So that's currently trending. Okay, these are some of the examples of some of our key accounts, what they present. Like I said, salted caramel is like the current trending flavors. So you can see that salted caramel is very, very popular in most countries. Okay, and then of course in Singapore, you have speculoos iced coffees and wild berry iced coffees and so forth. Okay. Now in Northern Asia, China, Taiwan, and of course in Hong Kong, okay, you have coffee consumption is actually increasing. Okay, generally they also prefer milk-based coffees, and of course filter coffees are also coming up and coming. And of course, they're also intrigued by conceptualized drinks, like for example, like this tiramisu cappuccino that they're serving. So something that's a bit interesting. And of course, in Taiwan, they have fruit-based coffees, black Americanos with watermelon and so forth. Examples, so iced mental cappuccino with basically frosted mint, and we're talking about chocolate as well. Okay. In Japan and South Korea, filter coffees, siphon coffees is very popular. Of course, I'd like to congratulate the siphonist champion 2014, also from Japan. Okay, and of course that remains very popular in the Korean and Japanese market. And then canned coffees are also very popular in terms of for consumers that are on the go. And basically, new and young customers prefer coffees that are a bit slightly sweeter. All right, so we're talking about coffees like this. They also enjoy like fruit-flavored coffees, yeah, like passion fruit and banana and so forth. Example. And Japanese culture, Japanese trends at the moment, they enjoy a lot on dolce lattes. Top favorite at the moment. Okay, in Australia and New Zealand, okay, biggest coffee drinkers are basically people who they work longer hours, okay, and coffees are made available early in the morning right up to the afternoon, okay. There's a huge demand of the new age consumers. There's a lot of students that are living around in Australia and New Zealand, okay, they're studying there, and they're also enjoying coffee as well. And milk-based coffee remains very popular, like cappuccinos, lattes, and of course, butter coffee. Anyone? Currently been experimented in Australia by Matt Perger. Okay, tried testing out what butter coffee tastes like. Really gives that creamier texture, but something for you to think about. Okay, and filter coffee remains popular, AeroPress or V60 drip and so forth. Okay, and of course, flavor coffees are still very popular there. We talk about coconut is favorite flavors in Australia. Yeah, coconut, chocolate cookie, and so forth. And something that I think is coming towards spring, so they've swapped their flavors. So salted caramel, like I said, is still popular in Asia Pacific. New concepts. Salted caramel popcorn latte, something that's up and coming, that's currently being served in Hong Kong. Brownie latte, brownie bits on top. Tiramisu dolce latte, currently trending in Japan. And of course, the flower pot, like I mentioned. And new flavors for tomorrow: walnut brownie, cream caramel, cheesecake, caramel popcorn, red velvet, butter pecan. So some of the new flavors that you may look forward for tomorrow. Something interesting for you to think about and see whether you'll enjoy it. So that's all for my presentation today. Thank you very much, and hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.